Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. So, till now we discovered about what are the various elements of logistics, and then we talked about the logistics industry and obviously the Indian scenario, Indian industry structure and international industry, and when we talked about e-commerce platform. So, then you saw that there is no boundary, right. So, whole world is one market. So, then we talked about what are different KPIs, key performance indicators, if we talk about logistics performance, right, overall performance of this distribution network. And then we talked about some of the tools we can use to improve those KPIs, and how we can benchmark the best practices in the industry, and we can go further for the improvement, right. Now, there is other aspect of this logistics distribution network, that is reverse logistics, right. This is equally important, as we have seen in when we discussed about the industrial scenario. We talked about so many different facts and figures, and we talked about that the return rate is very high, which is around 25 to 30%, right, in some of the cases, and maybe more than that also, right. So, this reverse supply chain is also equally important, and which is, we can say, another parallel system. Like, we were initially delivering the products from the raw material suppliers to the end consumer. Now, the reverse flow will be there, and it is equally important. So, we have to be equally efficient in the reverse supply chain as well, right. So, challenges are huge in terms of that, because you cannot charge anyone for this managing this reverse supply chain. Okay. So, this is additional cost, but yes, how you can explore this area further, you can do more research on that, where this reverse supply chain can be one of maybe the very efficient source of income. How efficiently you will use your or recycle or remanufacture your maybe unused products or used products, or maybe we will talk about different scenarios, how when we require this reverse supply chain, right. So, this is also a kind of opportunity. So, under this session we will try to cover the basic concept of reverse logistics. We will see how this is reverse logistics is leading towards green logistics and somewhere to the sustainability dimensions as well, right. And then we will talk about reverse logistics versus your traditional logistics supply chain, right. So, already I talked about the forward flow and reverse flow we need to maintain. So, why it is important, right. We have seen in the previous sessions why reverse returns, managing the returns is so important in these kind of scenario, right. Then we will see key aspects and process of reverse logistics, types of product returns, what are the types of products we are handling when we are talking about the reverse supply chain, and what are the factors responsible for reverse logistics, factors improving the efficiency of your reverse logistics, right. And then we will see the performance measures, overall KPIs. In that case, I have included a couple of case studies, small case studies, how they are managing beautifully this reverse supply chain, and the brand image they have developed using this reverse supply chain concept is marvelous, right. And not only the brand image, they have added to their revenues as well, right. So, we will start with the very basic introduction of reverse logistics. As I mentioned, is the flow is in the opposite direction, right, where we are handling the waste and returns. So, it is not only always the waste, right, it can be the fresh product as well. If I am ordering something from Amazon, Flipkart, eBay, I simply did not like that. So, then it is another kind of the journey will start, which the product will take the reverse route and will be shipped back to the seller, right. So, in that way that is unused product, and if we will talk about used products, so then it is waste, how we can handle those waste. It is not only the disposal of that, the waste is the ultimate alternative, right. So, we will try to explore what other things we can, options we have, where actually the opportunity lies, and we can explore those areas, right. So, other terms used for reverse logistics is retro logistics, reverse supply chain, reverse logistics flow, reverse flow, backward supply chain, return management, aftermarket logistics, aftermarket supply chain, right. These are the terms frequently we are using, but yes, you need to take care when we are talking about the reverse supply chain and reverse logistics. Logistics, reverse or forward logistics takes care only about your transportation, warehousing, distribution. But supply chain, when we are talking about whether it is your forward supply chain or reverse supply chain, will include all the activities within that supply chain, okay, starting from your raw material extraction, your packaging, manufacturing, within manufacturing unit, how you are preparing your assembly lines, manufacturing lines, where you are converting a raw material into finished one, then final packaging is happening, then marketing of those products, recording the order, selling the order, distributing the, all those things is big picture of supply chain. So, logistics is part of that. All we have discussed already this logistics versus supply chain. So, this can be defined the waste and returns along the supply chain. Sometimes we are reworking on those waste, if under warranty periods we are repairing, we are replacing the components, and then again we are sending back to the customer, or maybe we are selling back to the customer. It is not only in the same market, sometimes we have secondary market concept as well, where maybe your product is not available for maybe as a fresh product for the primary market, then the as a concept of maybe primary copy, first copy, or maybe reworked or repaired, or maybe your refurbished product, you are selling those products maybe at a reduced price in the secondary market as well. So, before proceeding further, I will just highlight the concept with some examples or scenario how it is happening. See, we have seen we have the raw material suppliers from where this distribution network is starting. These raw material suppliers are supplying the product to the raw material or component to the manufacturer. From manufacturer, we are having that distribution network. So, most of the time for distribution I am writing this term. So, if I am writing this, so audience can just take care of this. So, distribution network is there, network usually I am writing like this, and then in that end stakeholder is your customers, right. So, this is how the product is flowing in one direction from your starting from the your raw material suppliers ending with the consumption point, right. When we are talking about your returns, right. So, returns, now let us talk about you deliver the product, final product to the customer. Now, this can come back from the customer in different options. How it can come back from the customer? First is customer did not like the product and simply returned it as customer returns, right. This is simply, this is unused product, full value of the product is there, but product value is there, but the problem is that customer destroyed the packaging. So, again challenge is there, okay. So, customer destroyed the packaging. Let us say I am buying shirt. So, previously also I highlighted for packing the shirt, so many components are required. They are using steel pins, they are using plastic pins, they are using card papers, they are using so much stuff, right, in that, just to ship that shirt properly to the customer, right, wrinkle free kind of thing, or you should feel that actually you picked that shirt from the retail shop. So, that feeling, just to ensure that feeling, we are shipping the product with that care that you are getting that feeling, right. But when you obviously when customer received that product, even in the first instant he did not like that product, but even then he is going to try that shirt, right, shirt, trouser, whatever you ordered. Now, while trying that, obviously you will damage the packaging. So, those components, sometimes some customers are putting back in the packet, and that is open packet. When we will transport those things, so obviously we will misplace. So, 100% packaging recovery is not, cannot be ensured, is one big challenge, right. And then the returns, we will talk about how then we will process these kind of things. Then returns will come under warranty or guarantee period, right. Now, warranty and guarantee period, how this is posing as challenge. Sometimes if because most of the times what is happening, if it is under warranty period, so your service partner or your service employee who is providing the services will visit on site, will replace the components free of cost. So, that means those components will be coming from the your forward supply chain, forward distribution network. So, you will be replacing those components under warranty guarantee. If it is not so, so maybe then you will ship it back to the manufacturer, maybe from this network only, or maybe to the manufacturer directly. That depends upon the design structure, what type of supply chain you are following. The third one may be end of life product. What if the product is totally consumed, right, end of life. So, any home appliances will take as example, home appliances. So, you can see, if I will categorize home appliances as one industry, which is not so, refrigerator is different industry, AC is different industry, coolers different industry, TV is different industry. So, washing machines, all those different industries are there, right. But let us say home appliances one industry, right. So, you see, end of life, the maybe the average age of any home appliances will range around somewhere to 12 to 15 years, right. This is the average age. So, maybe if you are using properly or providing the services, using with care, it may extend to 20 years, 18 to 20 years. If not that much care is given, maybe it will end up on maybe in the 8 or 10 years as well, and then depends upon the nature of the product as well, right. Now, you see, if we will talk about all these home appliances, so major components used in that are maybe for long period of time you can use. If I will talk about refrigerator, if I will talk about AC, the outer container part is of plastic, all the plastic components, all the steel components, there will be no wear and tear, right, very minimum wear and tear. So, maybe the overall life is 12 to 15 years, but these components you can use for 30 years as well, right. So, this much time period for means you have not calculated properly the age of every component, which is quite obvious, because this is an economic structure as well, we need to understand. Because if I will say this AC you can use for 100 years or 50 years, so then what as service partner my stakeholders will do, and then after then again I have to sell the same product in the market. So, somewhere they need to maintain that marketing strategy as well, right. But I am just talking about, if we are not looking for, if we are concerned about the environment, we are concerned about the sustainability, reverse supply chain or green logistics, then we are talking about these terms, end of life, how we can extend this end of life. This is the concept, right. Now, I told you so many steel components or plastic components you can use maybe for 30, 40, 50 years. So, but the motor age is limited, electronic components age may be limited. So, what we can do, we can go for a kind of maybe a modular design. If any problem in one part, let us say if I am talking about TV, if there is something wrong with the sound panel, I will just take out the sound panel, will fix another sound panel, it will work properly, right. So, I need to figure out what are those components which got limited life in terms of maybe 10 years, 12 years or 15 years, and then as a stakeholder providing the services, maybe I can replace those parts only which are limited with their age, and in that way I can extend the life of that particular appliances. Same is the case of AC. If you are using AC, maybe something goes wrong with the motor, outside motor, right, then again you can replace it, you know, after this much of time period it will there will be wear and tear, and it will be stopping that functionality will be stopped, right. So, in that way you can find out if there is problem with the your circuit you are using inside, that board you are using inside, you can simply replace that board if it is problem with the inner unit or outer unit, wherever, right. So, the nutshell we can conclude that the end of life, how you are managing of your product is very, very important. And if I talk about a very good example of your AquaGuard, who is not selling the products, what they are selling they are not selling the products, no, they are selling the services. Now, if you will take water purifier from AquaGuard, they are giving you kind of annual, it is there for many other home appliances, but this strategy is prominently used by AquaGuard, and the beautifully they have leveraged on this strategy. AMC, annual maintenance contract they are giving, maybe for 1 year or 2 year, or as long as you are using that product, you have to use that, right, till the end of your life. We are not talking about the end life of that product, we are talking about end life of the customer. So, as long as you are there, you will be using AquaGuard, right. So, you will purchase AMC, annual maintenance contract. In that, if anything goes wrong with that purifier, free of cost it will be replaced. It is not free of cost, because already we purchased annual maintenance contract. So, in that case you can use it without any hesitation, or if something goes wrong with that, you need to replace the product. So, then that much waste you will be generating, what you will do with those electronic components, right, that will be directly waste you are throwing in the environment, there is no reverse supply chain, right. So, in that case AquaGuard is what they are doing, anything goes wrong with your purifier, they will replace you free of cost as long as you are AMC, under AMC. You can imagine same if AC industry, because every other day when there is season, you can see sometimes cooling is not properly, sometimes water is coming out of the inner unit as well, sometimes your remote is not working, sometimes so many issues with the outer unit, with the inner unit, right. So, that those how, because as a customer you cannot be so aware about that product and technology, or the components and pricing and all that. So, let us imagine if AC company, some AC companies are there, they are coming with the proposal that it is our unit, we are fixing as per the requirement, size, whatever cooling requirements are there, size of the room, we will fix the unit, and it is completely our responsibility, we will maintain as long as you are taking our services. When you will say we do not need services, we will take it out, right. So, because as long as you are in that particular environment, you will use that AC. So, how you can minimize your cost of operation, that is win-win situation for both suppliers also and customer also, because they are taking care of your services part, and for manufacturer they will be looking for more sustainable technology, more sustainable raw material which you can use, maybe the quality of even the plastic and steel components which you can use again and again will improve, because they will try to maintain it as maybe for 100 years or more than that, because as long as you are my customer, you are a kind of giving me revenue every day, because I am buying your AMCs. So, this is the concept why this reverse logistics is required. So, we will just quickly go through some few definitions of reverse logistics. Is going the wrong way on a one-way street, which is quite obvious because this is wrong way, but yes, the importance you can just imagine. Just I spent some time on explaining why it is required. Then by Carter and Elram, you see the return upstream movement of good or material resulting from maybe reuse, recycling or final disposal. So, final disposal can also happen, like we talked about here we missed, if any product which you cannot use, so that will go for final disposal. There is again debate on this, we will discuss separately on disposal. There is nothing like that this is totally waste and it should be disposed of completely. We should be able to get some components out of that product, and maybe we can use in the next preparing the next product. If not so, can we use some part of that product as a raw material for some other industry? Let us say if you are using steel in maybe in your car, right, or maybe manufacturing aeroplane, or maybe manufacturing these kind of things where you are using steel, right. So now after using that car for 20 years, 25 years, maybe now it is of no use. Now you want to dispose of completely, right. So even then that steel value you can recover. Maybe that raw material may not be used manufacturing another car, but yes, that can be used for maybe manufacturing steel rods, steel sheets, which you can use for roofing purposes, right, where maybe the safety parameter in that way is not that much, important, and we can still use that as, we can melt that steel, we can again use that steel, right. So this is how maybe the after recycling that material components you discovered may not be useful in the same industry, but can be a potential source of raw material for some other industries, right. So some other definitions, you can see reverse logistics under the umbrella of product recovery management, which I talked about, how you can recover the product, how you can recover the value out of this. If you talk about Council of Logistics Management, they have defined this: planning, implementing, controlling in an efficient and cost effective way the flow of raw material, in process inventory, finished goods and related information from point of consumption to the point of origin, right, in a reverse way. Now we talked about this structure, and obviously from here we are collecting all the waste in terms of byproducts, in terms of waste, in terms of rejected material, in terms of warranty, in terms of end of life, in terms of fresh returns. So obviously as a return, what you will do, you will store it in some warehouse, and then there should be some refurbishment center where you will be recovering the value of that. Maybe again you will be cleaning the shirt, you will be ironing the shirt, you will be applying all those components to pack in a proper way. Primary packaging is destroyed, again you will put new packet. Secondary packaging is destroyed, again you will put new package, and then labeling, and then billing information also you need to provide, so that it should be quickly available in your distribution network again for reselling that. Okay. So this is the complete network how you can use this. So let us see quickly reverse logistics versus forward logistics, like the example already I quoted. From raw material it is going to manufacturer, from then distribution chain, then retail industry, then customer is picking up. So this is forward distribution network. Reverse, we have collection centers, there is consolidation center, because if we are talking about, let us say 20 to 30% returns. So if we are selling 100 items, 30 are coming back, so that amount is not so big, right. So how we need to consolidate, this is very important thing, right. Consolidation and sorting of the packages. Why sorting of the packages is required? Let us say when I am going through my forward supply chain, I sold today maybe one shirt through Amazon, maybe one toy, maybe one refrigerator, maybe one AC, maybe few your grocery items, and likewise so many different things are there, right. So these different, see, shirts are coming from some clothing industry, toys are coming from those kind of manufacturer players, refrigerator coming from higher Hitachi, AC coming from Hitachi, Samsung, so many different players are there, grocery items are coming from Amazon Fresh, and so many different suppliers are there, right. So in that way it is organized, because this flow is coming from one industry, all the clothing are coming from one industry, maybe so many different players in that industry, but shirts are coming from the clothing industry. But when I am interacting with the customer, maybe customer 1, 2, 3, 4, this is returning the grocery item, this is returning the shirt, this person is returning the shoe, and maybe this person is returning some grocery item, right. So in the end when I will collect it in the consolidation center where I will ship those items, right. So, your mixed up items are coming. So, then becomes important that you should have some sorting centers as well, consolidation and sorting centers, where you will sort industry wise, right, and then you will try to recover the value out of those products. So, this is again very important to understand. It is not that easy to set up as we set up the forward supply chain, we can quickly set up the reverse supply chain. The obvious reason is because these products are coming from different industries, from the end customer, right, and different customers are there. So, let us try to address reverse logistics versus green logistics. Obviously, when we are talking about reverse logistics, we talked about product returns, marketing returns, secondary returns, whatever are coming. When we are talking about green logistics, so we are taking care of the environment while we are distributing the product. So, end mile delivery, we talked about using electronic bikes, right, cycles, right, how we can pick the customer pickup locations, where we should use alternate resources, we should not use fuel as maybe petrol or diesel, which is depleting the environment, right. So, those many, and in packaging also recyclable packaging should be used, you should not use plastic, how you can minimize the packaging size, that will take care of your green logistics, right, where we are completely concerned about environment, right. Sustainability is another dimension, where in under sustainability we will not only take care of environment, we will take care of social aspect also, and we will take care of your economic aspect also. All these three will take care, right. So, reverse logistics, we are actually adding to green logistics and sustainability in that way, but we have to be efficient, but green logistics only takes care about your environment. And if we will talk about all these three concepts are working towards either we should recycle the material, we should remanufacture, or we should be there should be reusable packaging, right. So, there are concept of 3 R's, how we can reuse, how we can reduce, how we can recycle. Reuse, the same product we can reuse if it is not at the stage of end life, again how we can ensure that. Reduce, how we can reduce, the usage of the product or maybe throwing rate, because like I mentioned you, so simply if you are purchasing AquaGuard services, you will not think of throwing out your AquaGuard after 10 years, 15 years, as long as they are maintaining, you are giving them the annual maintenance charges, right. So, this is all about this concept. So, we will just go through this video and we will see how this concept of reverse logistics is implemented in industries. Yes. So, we have seen in this video that how many products are coming back, and year and over year this number is increasing, right, and this now is significantly contributing towards taking the share out from your margins, right. So, if we will not take care about the efficient flow, reverse flow of this product, that may hamper your productivity in a longer run, right. So, quickly we will go through what types of products are coming in return. Already we discussed about the return of unused products, right. So, we talked about if customer did not like that, size was not proper, other issues you might have seen the listed reasons when you are returning your products. So, Amazon already listed, Flipkart, why you are returning, right. Even if you are not, you are hardly sometime customer bother about giving that reason for that. So, simply you want to return, that is also happening, right. So, then commercial returns, if the order is problem is with the recording the order, either the wrong item was shipped or wrong order was placed, right. So, then also you are returning. In commercial returns you can talk about the product recalls as well, right. You might have seen Maruti Suzuki, they recalled Swift Desire and Baleno just because of there was some problem with the fuel filter. This is not only with Maruti Suzuki, even you talk about Volkswagen, you talk about Hyundai, Honda, Toyota, even BMW, which is known, very well known for quality and all that, but they are facing sometimes issues related with the engine related with sometimes Volkswagen, they recalled the products because they started observing that their engines are producing nitrogen dioxide, right, so which is harmful, and then they had to recall the products. Sometime related to safety parameters, sometime the interior AC capacity was not observed properly, that customer is feeling comfortable inside the car, right. So many different reasons, but there are recalls of the product. You must be aware about the very famous recall by your Nokia. So when you were charging, your batteries were blast and all those things were happening. So after that, Nokia was nowhere in the picture. But in Indian market, before that, Nokia, you see after every second or third mobile was from Nokia. So that was then it was overtaken by Microsoft for some time, 2-3 years. Then again Nokia is coming back with their promises. But you can just see, it's not only the end product or after use or under warranty. Sometimes even the manufacturer is recalling the products because they observed some functionality related issues or maybe safety related issues. Then we talked about under warranty period or waste products if they are coming. So you can just see some of the examples are given, right, and we have discussed in detail. This is packaging, nowhere related to your product, but packaging also in some countries it has been made mandatory for the services or product suppliers that it is the responsibility of the supplier to carry the your packaging back to your warehouse, so that again you can recycle, and your packaging should be 100% recyclable, reusable. We'll see how this concept of packaging has been used beautifully by your Mahindra. So the way they have done the innovation in packaging. Why reverse logistics is important? First reason is government policies and legislation. Already I talked about in Netherlands. This is the responsibility to take back the product and recover the value completely, right. So if you are in car industry, like I talked about this, you have to take that car back after usage, and then maybe you have to ensure the recovery of the material from that car. Simply you cannot throw it in the outside environment. If you talk about Germany, so packaging ordinance they have passed, and you have to collect under that ordinance, you have to collect all the sales packaging material, right. So these kind of things are there. That's why reverse logistics is important. If you take care of this economic consideration, it's not that this is initial investment is there when you set up your reverse logistics, but this is a misconception. Then if you'll try to invest so much into your byproducts, into your waste, handling your waste, so then you may lose your focus on the main product, mainstream. No, it's not like that, because handling byproducts, if you are outsourcing, someone else is doing on your behalf, he is also charging some money for that. So why don't you set up your network and try to extract the maximum value out of that, because this is a kind of industry in many countries. If you are recovering some value out of the scrap, so very relaxed tax structure is there. In that way, it is very strategic move, and it has been for many of the organization. They are doing this business, and now after recycling, remanufacturing or refurbishment, they are generating revenues out of that, right. And because handling cost, this waste handling cost and disposal cost is also increasing. So why to dispose it? You are spending energy, cost, time on burning something. Why don't we use that product either as raw material for something else, or if we have no other option other than burning that part component, then let us use that energy coming out of after burning. We can use that energy, right. We can convert that energy into electricity, and we can use that electricity. So if you talk about some cement players who are into cement industry, I have seen ACC, especially ACC plant, what they are doing in the local community, they have developed their reverse logistics network, right. They are collecting the waste of local community as a part of their CSR. They are adding into CSR as well. Just they are collecting the waste, they are burning that waste to produce energy, and this is how they are running their plants on that energy. So their energy consumption also they have reduced, and in that way they are taking care of the environment as well. If you talk about environmental consideration, environmental legislation, now policies are coming, because government also, regulatory bodies are also after the organization that you have to be, little more conscious about environment, how much you are depleting, your activities are depleting. So that way you need to control the carbon emission. So, and can be used as marketing tool, that you are green product, you are green supplier, you are green manufacturer, so that product customers will also feel connected with that, and somehow if we will use that product, we are adding into sustainability, or we are not depleting the environment. And shift towards buying services instead of product, like I told you, AquaGuard, right? If AC, in some player will come with these kind of services, so obviously if the pricing policy is like that, which is a kind of win-win situation for both the players, so easily we can get rid of this headache of maintaining the ACs, right? And what we will do with the end of life? There will be no end of life of the product, right? And we can consume it for longer period of time. Only thing we need to either replace those minimum aged components, or we need to find the alternative material which we can use, and will elongate that use of that material, right? So another example of effective waste management. So if you talk about electronic industry, this is something now we are using more use and throw kind of appliances, right? If you see, earlier the TV size was quite big, right? Now it is coming like flat screen. Mobile screens are very flat, right? In that way, what is the big challenge? Challenge is that now you cannot repair those components. So what we are coming with? We are coming with the modular design. We are fixing the modules in that. Let's say this is a picture control panel will be here, sound control panel will be here, some other maybe quality control panel will be here, signal receiving will be here, or transmitting or receiving will be here. Let's say if something goes wrong with the picture tube, right, or maybe picture panel, we'll take it out, we'll fix another panel into that, right? So repair concept has gone because the very complex, complicated integrated circuit we are using, where millions, trillions of components are embedded on very small chip, right? So repairing those things is a very big question. So, and then you see 80% of the mobiles are being replaced every 2 years. So our generation is consuming in that way 80%. You can imagine where maybe 100 crores in mobile users are there. So 80 crores are all coming after 2 years back, right, as waste. So what are the sources? Municipality collection points are there, electronic industry waste they are producing, retailers are producing, recycling sector. In India or other developing nations, we have informal recycling sector, right? So they are recycling the products, they are collecting garbage from here and there, and then they are recycling. As long as this is not, dangerous product, right, or waste, you can recycle is okay. But if some dangerous, like radioactive elements are involved, or maybe some infectious waste is there, and sometimes maybe it is plastic coming from, let's take the example, plastic coming from hospital. So in hospital you are using syringes. So those plastic syringes, if directly you are recycling without any chemical disinfection, so that is another challenge. So this informal recycling sector is there, which is also a big challenge, right? So we'll continue this discussion on reverse logistics in the next session as well. So for time being, this content has been prepared from these references. Thank you very much.